Hello, Magdi.
Hey, George. Hello, George. So I'm going to mute everybody just to start. Unmuting myself. If we can close our eyes or lower our gaze and turn our attention to our experience as it appears. Welcoming it as it is. So notice sensations within your body. Explore meeting your sensation or your perception or your experience freshly, without any past or future. So be the open, aware space throughout your entire experience, permeating your entire experience. The fresh meeting, fresh uncovering, a fresh discovery, a fresh unfolding that has no past, no future. Remain unknowing. Being, not knowing. You don't need to understand in order to be. Understanding is the past being has no time in it. Whatever arises, it's a thought or an image, a memory, a sensation. Give it its entire freedom. You do not need to seek any experience, because you are available to your experience whichever way it appears to you. You remain as you are. Transparent, aware presence, borderless, non-local, timeless, undefined, no need to limit awareness by defining yourself in any way. Turn your attention to the sensations within your body. And wherever you notice a certain holding, could be in your hands, in your belly, in your throat. And gently caress it, gently relax that holding, release it gently. You can gently rotate your neck, relax your neck and rotate it gently. Clockwise or counterclockwise, or sway gently. Notice the sensation, like a wave arising within you, within the space of awareness. There is a seeming movement, but you don't move in the space of awareness. It does not move. Gently inhale and exhale. Turning your attention to the inhalation and the exhalation. It's a gentle movement of breath. The breath seemingly moves like a gentle wave, but you don't. Remain as presence without any past or future. All is well as presence. There is no story, no script. Just the light of being. As being, we are one. Everything that appears to you is an appearance of being. The dance of Shiva. Turn your attention to the sensation of your hands, whichever way this sensation is appearing to you. Gently release and relax that sensation in the space of awareness. And turn your attention to the sensation of your face, your skull, the socket of your eyes. And allow that sensation to expand in the space, the space that surrounds it, and the space that permeates it. Allow your skull to remain open in the rear so that the expansion goes in all directions. No judgment. You are this open space of awareness. Do not interfere. There is no right and wrong. For the reality of being is the one reality. It's dreaming all dreams out of itself, to itself, from itself to itself. You never leave yourself to become anything else. That is not possible. What is does not become. What isn't does not exist. Becoming is a mind impression. You do not become, you are. So you can, at your own pace, open your eyes and if you have any questions, anything that you want to explore, you are welcome to do so. So, any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Gloriana.
Hi. I wanted to ask about free will because the other day you said that we have free will, but well, in reality, all that exists is the divine or God's will.
Yes.
So I feel that free will is something we think we have, but it's not really free will,
Yes.
because we don't know anything, so all the decisions we make are very limited because we really don't know the consequences of these decisions, how are going to affect the other people or us. And well, can you explain a little bit this issue?
Yes.
Thank you.
So, if free will or if a decision is real, or if free will is real, then whatever it is that makes this decision must also be real, because a real decision must be made by whatever it is that is real. Something that is not real cannot make a real decision. It only makes imaginary decision because the decision maker is imaginary. So if you want to explore the question of free will, we have to also explore the question of reality. What is it that is real? What is real? Obviously, something must be real because this experience is not nothing. Even if it's a dream experience, it's still, there is a reality to it. It's not nothing. So what is the reality of our experience? When we look at this question, we find that the reality of our experience is I consciousness, not I, what I imagine I am, not what I remember I am, not what I remember my family is, not what I believe my religion and my beliefs are. I consciousness. So if I consciousness is that which is real, and you have to look at that for yourself, then whatever decisions are made by I consciousness. Because if there is any activity, any action, any choice, it has to be a real choice. Otherwise, we are talking about imagination. So if we're talking about real choice and real decision and real action, it must refer to I consciousness. But if we are talking about I Magdi, the father, the mother, the cousin, the sister, the son, whatever it were, I the character, which is a bundle of memories and images and beliefs and feelings and sensations and stories and opinions and likes and dislikes, that character does not exist. It's a storyline. So for the separate self, for the imaginary character, there is no such thing as free will or as will at all. It's all imagination. Obviously, we make choices. We make a choice to go to rest. At night, we make a choice to cook a soup or to make some salad. We make a choice to invite our friends for dinner. We make a choice to learn how to play the piano. So we do make choices. Now, what is it that makes a choice? Obviously, it is I consciousness. Because the choice, if we are talking about a choice, we are talking about something real. We're not talking about nothing. We're talking about something. We're talking about choosing to go to Hawaii or go to California instead of going to China or to Zimbabwe. There is a choice. Now that choice is made by consciousness. It is carried out by the body-mind. It is Magdi, the body mind, or Gloriana, the body mind that calls the airlines, books the airplane ticket, saves some money for the trip, etc. There is an instrument, there is a body-mind instrument. But the body-mind instrument is not that which makes the choice. The body-mind instrument is not that which has any will. The will belongs to consciousness. The body-mind instrument is in the hands of consciousness, that consciousness uses the body-mind for its own creativity. And that is what we refer to by the God's will. It is God as consciousness that wills, and the body-mind is an instrument of God's will. Now, it's true that we do not have a crystal ball. We do not know that our decision, whether it's decision A or decision B, we do not know how things will unfold. And we do not need to know how things will unfold, because the unfolding is just this moment right now. This is the unfolding. Knowing how things will unfold is just a storyline in our head. We have an idea, stories, images in our head about the future, about it should go this way or that way. But that storyline is just like the wind. It is just made out of thinking and feeling. It is not real. The only reality in your experience is consciousness. And consciousness chooses this. It is choosing every moment. It is free willing every moment. This very experience right now. And it's also free willing whatever thoughts are appearing to you. The thought of, gee, it would be nice for me to go visit my friends tomorrow, or whatever. It is also free willing, creating and perceiving whatever is appearing to you. So the free will belongs to that which is free. And the reality of the real will, the real choice, belongs to that which is real. So find in your experience, what is it that is real? And you will get both the answer to that which is real, and at the same time, that which creates. We imagine that we are a separate self with a separate will, with a personal will. But that's just a belief system. What we are is this open, aware consciousness, the reality of consciousness. We are this beyond description, beyond words, this aware presence. That we are that reality. And the question of free will is a question that relates to the personal self. do I, Magdi, have free will? Do I, Gloriana, have free will? No, because there is no reality to Gloriana or Magdi. It's just a set of impression, mind impressions, sensations, perceptions, memories, feelings, images. The reality of Magdi and Gloriana is consciousness. And consciousness doesn't have that question about free will or no free will. Consciousness is the only game in town. Consciousness is the conceiver, creator, and perceiver in chief. There is no other boss in town. There is no other experience but that of consciousness. There is no other reality but that of consciousness. And consciousness doesn't ask itself if it has free will or no free will. It's like God asking, can I create the world in 7 days, or do I have to create the world in 7 days, or can I create the world in 21 days? Heck, God can create the world in 68 days if she wishes. Or not create the world at all. There is no other boss in town. There is no other sheriff in town but God's reality, God's truth, universal consciousness. So when you ask yourself the question about free will, ask yourself, whose free will am I talking about? Am I talking about the free will of this character I imagine myself to be, meaning the free will of images? Or the free will of reality, real free will? I like to talk only about reality. Because when we start talking about concepts, they seem to be real in our conversation, but you have to keep returning your conversation to reality so that you don't get lost in the world of thoughts and concepts and thinking. You have to return to, what do you really mean? What is it? What is the real question? What is the reality of free will? The reality of free will is its reality. There's only one reality, which is consciousness. To whom does free will really belong? Free will belongs to whatever it is that is real. It's only one reality, which is consciousness. So free will belongs to consciousness. Keep returning your question to the reality of that which is you're looking at. You will always come home. Do you see what I mean, Gloriana?
Yes, Magdi. Thank you very much. It's very clear the difference, and now I understand that when we talk about free will, it's about what is our true nature.
Yes. It's only one truth, one reality. one freedom, one beauty, one love.
Okay. And I feel also that when we see our true nature, we are free from doubt,
Yes.
or what there is there is no guilt
Mm-hmm.
or because there is nobody
Mm-hmm.
who is
Yes.
doing this or doing that.
Yes.
So we can be more at peace.
Yes, we can be more at peace, and we can, in a fresh moment, in every moment is a fresh moment, invite ourselves to act from the inspiration of our true nature, from the inspiration that all is myself, that the other is myself, that we are that one reality. Whatever has happened in the past doesn't matter much. It only is significant in that it has led us to this moment. It has led us to this moment of understanding, of comprehension, this moment of fresh moment where we have available to us the option of acting from a place of compassion, of embrace, of understanding of our totality, of our wholeness, of our indivisibility. And again, if the sense of separation arises and we become self-protective, it's okay, because it is always available to us to recognize our wholeness in a fresh moment without carrying with us any of the past, without carrying with us any guilt or blame or self-judgment, so that there can be a fresh light, a fresh breeze, a meeting that does not have a story, that does not have a history, a meeting that is inviting us to our recognition, the recognition of our oneness, of our wholeness. So the personal self, with all its habit of defending and justifying and seeking and blaming, is gently replaced with a knowingness of our true nature that does not resist, nor does it seek. It acts intelligently and appropriately according to the circumstances of the moment. And it acts with a comprehension that what I am is this aware presence appearing as this image, as this perception, as this experience. And that I permeate this entire experience. Awareness, consciousness, the love, the peace, the joy, permeate all my experience. I am not an object within my experience. I am the entirety, the totality.
Thank you very much, Magdi, for your words. And I think that in it's clear that we can come home at any moment, and
Yes.
it doesn't matter at all what happened.
Yes.
And we can, from this place or from this consciousness, we can take action or feel what is the next step.
Yes.
From this compassion and from this love,
Yes. Yes.
so we can feel completely in peace with our actions.
Yes.
And knowing that is from a conscious conscious place, or
Yes.
it's not. And if at any time, or we can, well, we are free also to make bad decisions, because there are no bad decisions.
Yes, and but there is a wisdom that blooms within us. We realize over time that although in the absolute sense there are no bad decisions, in the relative realm, uh, to act from a compassionate, loving, understanding, listening place, a fair place, a place where we honor the other's freedom, where we recognize the other as ourself. There is a wisdom that blooms within us, that in the dream, that is the happier dance, the sweeter dance.
Yes, it's so beautiful. Thank you very much.
Okay, Gloriana. You can ask Holly about dancing. She's a great dancer. Doesn't step on her partner's feet, I bet.
Okay.
Gloriana.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Hi, Magdi.
Hello, Maria. Hello, Maria.
How are you?
Lovely to see you.
I'm sitting here listening to the conversation with Gloriana, and for some reason, there's this real heavy contraction, just a lot of tightness and tension in my whole chest area, and I noticed that. And I, so I sense the dance of Shiva as it appears as sensations in my body. And I tell myself, dance with it. But it's like I have a hard time even breathing. And it's, my mind is saying this is so odd because the conversation is absolutely beautiful. What is it? That feels so tight even in my throat right now that I can hardly speak,
It doesn't matter that much, right now, what is it? Because the question, what is it, may take us in a place of thinking and conceptualizing that may in a way be an avoidance of just being. So in this moment there is this unfolding, and so we just sink deeply into it. Nothing to fix, nothing to change, nothing to repair. We go to that place that is completely available and open to this. There's no resistance whatsoever to it. No need to think about it or try to maybe to get a glass of water, maybe not sure if this may help. Yes, it's a sip.
Well, I just noticed as I was sitting here listening to your conversation, it was just arising.
Sometimes the way the personal self brings you back to me, the body, is via something happening in the body. Sort of tells you, hey. No, let's come back to being the body. But we're okay with that, we go back to the sensation of the body, whichever way it appears. Of course, if we need to lie down or stretch or drink some water, or, we take care of that, but we won't resist this game. But we understand that whatever manifestation appears in the body does not mean that we are the body. And the body can manifest in whatever way it manifests. It does not mean we are any better or worse. In other words, a contracted body, a body that appears contracted, does not mean that I am contracted. Mm-hmm. If a body appears open and clear, does not mean that I am open and clear. There can be a very healthy body, that somebody who does beautiful yoga and beautiful exercises and experiences, and open, transparent body. This does not mean that they are transparent. It's just a temporary manifestation at the body-mind level. What we are talking about is our true nature, that which hears these words right now, that which perceives this sensation right now. That is not an object, is not a form, is not a manifestation. And of course, there is wisdom within that. When it senses the body is contracting too much, it sort of invites the body to relax, because there is a certain degree of contraction within the body that affects the organs in a way. So there is wisdom about opening your shoulders, relaxing your belly, allowing the breathing to flow, throughout the entire organism, through the entire space. Exhaling. Effortless, sort of.
It's like well, maybe I'm having a heart attack. I don't know. But, it just feels so intense, and the energy coming up the throat and just the head. And,
to follow, listen to yourself, okay? If you do feel that you need to lie down or so, go lie down. But be watchful not to add a storyline to what's happening, but at the same time, be vigilant with what's happening within your body. In general, as a general rule, okay, this body sometimes manifests as a resistance to our true nature. It manifests a strong opposition to peace, to being. All right. Just I'm saying that generally. I'm not saying about what's happening exactly at the body-mind level of Maria. You have to sort of you have to sense into that yourself. Okay.
It's funny. I don't know why it makes me want to laugh when I heard you say that and cry. Thank you.
Oh, okay, take care. Huh? Oh,
Maggie?
Richard is saying he felt something similar too. Yes, hello, Kelly.
Hey.
Yes.
I've often heard that one of the last things to go is the fear of death. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Oh, and I'm wondering how to let go of the fear of death, and at the same time, I don't know if I have that.
You want to, how to feel something that you may not have.
I know. It's like I want to just, it's like, well, if that's the last thing to go, maybe I ought to look at that because, so I'm thinking my runner-up would be fear of not being able to take care of myself.
Well, I mean,
But I don't think it's fear of the actual death.
well, at some point, you know, we won't be able to take care of ourselves. It's inevitable as a body mind. At some point, others will take care of this body mind. It's possible. I mean, it's.
So yeah, maybe it's related, and I just it's in disguise.
And yeah, well, I mean, like we took care of the newborns and the babies and the children, and at some point, the elderly get taken care of. I'm not sure if that's your question. I'm not sure if where I'm going with what I'm, you know, what I'm sharing with you, but
Yeah, I think that's a scary thought.
Really?
To be taken care of. Except, you know,
well, I mean, you're being taken care of every day. When you go to the grocery and you buy,
I know, I have.
You buy tomatoes. You're not planting those tomatoes.
Right.
I mean, maybe. So I mean, we're being taken care of. I mean, it's a chain. You know, we're interconnected. You know, the positive and the negative. There is a balance between them. You know, the manifest, you know, and the unmanifest. They dance. You know, there's a dance. But
my fear might be related to fear of dying, in a weird way that I just haven't identified. But do you know how to let go of that?
Well, there are two dimensions to let's say, letting go of the fear of death. One of them is the understanding, and the other is the feeling. So there is the understanding, which I think that you already have grokked, the expression. I think you've already grokked the understanding that I, consciousness, does not die. There is the understanding that I is not the body mind. I is consciousness, that I do not die. Nor do I there is no birth and death for I. Birth and death apply to manifestation. So there is the understanding. You have to really, what is the expression? You have to really own your understanding. You can't dance with your understanding. You cannot, like, for example, realize that Santa Claus is actually your dad dressing up as Santa Claus, and at the same time still believe in Santa Claus. You understand what I'm saying? You have to own your understanding. Having owned your understanding that I do not die, then you have to sort of live it, go to that feeling state of death, the feeling of death. The feeling of death is what remains on board. And the feeling of death will arise to you on various occasions. It arises to you in flashes or in some situations that will trigger the fear of death. And there is the contemplation of the fear of death whenever, of the feeling, whenever you're available to it. And the contemplation is basically to sort of look into what is that feeling? What is it made of? If feeling the fear of death, as in all other feeling, is a very intimate bodily sensation. I mean, in the case of the fear of death, it grabs you a little bit like what Maria was sort of describing. It's like, it feels like something that's really intense, you know, in your being, in your throat, or in your face, or in your heart. But still a sensation. So you have to sort of over and over see that you are looking at the sensation. And that which is looking at the sensation is not the sensation. You are the perceiver of the sensation. And that sensation, of course, will pass. And when it passes, you ask yourself, gee, where is that sensation? What was it? It's like a wave or a current. The more you see the sensation from a dispassionate, you know, place of noticing the sensation, the bodily sensation, without going back into, oh my God, what's going to happen to me? So you have to sort of dissociate the belief that something is happening to me and just go to the sensation.
Can I just...
Yeah.
I have had some instances where I had stopped breathing and I was very close to death before. And I don't have fear about that. I used to have fear of the idea of death before I had those experiences,
So if you have no fear of death, then this conversation is moot.
But I think what we were talking about, the fear of being taken care of or not being able to take care of myself, is related in a way. You said there are two types of fear.
No, I was saying there are two aspects to the fear of death. There is the belief that I die, that I'm something that dies, and then there's the feeling.
Okay, so you were just talking about the feeling.
I was talking about the fear of death, and talking about the feeling aspect of the fear of death.
Okay.
So you have to explore the feeling aspect of the fear of death. And so there is seeing the sensation as a sensation, seeing the fear of death as a sensation. And there is also going to it. In other words, feeling it, living it, allowing the sensation to live itself through you whenever it arises. Not to stand apart from it, to sort of step into the oven, step into the furnace.
And how do you suggest doing that?
There is stillness within yourself. You have to sort of go to the stillness within yourself and notice any resistance to the sensation. Just notice any resistance and relax the resistance, so that the resistance is sort of a veil between you and the sensation. Notice the resistance and just relax the resistance. It could be a spinning of thinking, or it could be some contraction within the body. So you will notice and you relax the resistance. As you're relaxing the resistance, you're getting closer and closer to the sensation, to the feeling. And at some point, there is just a feeling. is just I, the feeling. And it's sort of, it's as if you traverse through the veil. And you survive the veil because that which you are does not die. So it's a non-doing, it's this inner stillness and an interest in the full experience of what's there. And because of your interest in the full experience of what's there, the resistances are not what's interesting you. You're interested in the full experience. You're interested in just the full presence, in just being completely present to it. So be interested in the full experience of that fear when it arises. The full experience of it as it is, as it appears, without spinning any story, nothing, without any protecting anything or saving anything or safeguarding anything or making sure that this and that is safe. No, just an experience is arising for you to be fully available to it and fully, just fully there with it. And that's at the feeling level, yes? Now, in terms of fearing being dependent on others, that's a sort of ego because, you know,
Yeah.
who are
It
you?
is.
Who are you to sort of skip over being dependent on others? I mean, you know, who do you take yourself to be? You're dependent on others like me, like everybody else. So, you know, it's an ego trip, you know. Nothing special about you, nothing. So, you know, sooner or later you'll be dependent on others. Actually, you're dependent on others now. And maybe at some point you'll be more dependent on others, or some other time in your life, other people will become dependent on you. You don't know. So we do that. It's like, that's the flow, you know, that's the game in town, you know, that's the play, you know. We're interconnected in that way, right? I mean, you're not going to die healthy. That body doesn't die healthy. The body dies, you know, unhealthy. So it's gonna, when the body dies, it's gonna be taken care of until you know, it's okay, until that's it, you know. That's normal, right?
Yeah.
No, there's nothing special about you or me or anybody else when it comes to that, right?
Yeah. I just have, you know, there's always been a knowing I'm dependent.
That I'm sorry?
There's always been the knowledge, the understanding that
Yes.
I am dependent.
Yes.
And I think that
As a body mind.
the personality has always felt like it's impersonating being independent.
Oh.
And that's what's so scary.
Yeah.
I just saw that.
Yeah, the personality is a layer, you know.
Yes.
Is a layer. All body minds are dependent. This does not mean that I, consciousness, am dependent. No, it's at the body mind.
No, right.
At the body mind level, we need food, we need rest, we need friends, we need oxygen, etc. At the body mind level.
So is the fear of dying really the ego dying?
Yes,
Or that?
absolutely.
Okay.
The fear of I meaning the person dying, the fear of, it's fearing losing consciousness. But you cannot lose consciousness.
No.
You are consciousness. So the personal self is consciousness, sort of imagining itself to be a limited personal self, a limited loop, a limited body mind. So from that perspective, there is already the yearning for the return to my true nature.
Mm-hmm.
There is already within the sense of separation. Whenever consciousness imagines itself and feels itself to be a certain body-mind bundle of feelings and sensations, already within it there is a sense of lack and the fear of death. The fear of death because as an object, all objects are impermanent. Even Mount Everest, in 20 billion years will probably be dust. I don't know, I'm just, So all forms are impermanent. So within all forms, there is impermanence, there is time. Whenever consciousness leaves its self-knowingness, its totality, and impersonates a personality, personal character, immediately there is the sense of lack and the fear of death. It's built in all body minds, all separate selves. All ignorance is the sense of lack, missing, lacking, and fearing death. Was that your question?
Yes. It's clarifying it to me a lot.
Yes, so the ego, when we say the ego, we refer to the sense, the belief and the sense of being a person. That's ego. So it's consciousness being a person. So the ego is consciousness being a person, supposedly being a person. So as soon as there is ego, there is fear of death. They go hand in hand. There is no ego without fear of death.
Okay.
There is no ego without unhappiness. There is no ego without the sense of lack. There is no ego without the sense that there is something at stake. That's what the ego is. The ego is made out of these sensations and these feelings and these beliefs. What's going to happen tomorrow to me, worry and concern. Am I going to be okay? Am I going to be dependent? Am I going to die? All of these questions and concerns and feelings, and they belong to the bundle that I believe, to the bubble, the me bubble. You see. But here what we explore is that the me bubble is not what I am. We explore what I is. I is presence. It's not something that, it's not a bubble, any bubble. But although we may explore that, there's also the feeling that sometimes we feel, what's going to happen to me? What's going to happen to me? So at the feeling level, there is a certain work that needs to be done. You also need to invite your understanding into the body, into your feeling level. You can't just remain a theoretical advitant. You have to live. You have to come to the living of your understanding. So you have to bring it to the feeling level. You have to explore the feelings and see through them, not just remain at a distance from the feeling. Because when you remain at a distance from the feeling remains as it is. We have to come to it. We have to open up to it, feel it, explore it, and uncover every aspect of it, to see through it, and to come to the realization that they're like waves within, currents within the ocean, and that And that it's not like there is something really happening. So isn't a tragedy happening in the ocean. Yeah, it's all the ocean, waves and currents and fish, and I don't know whatever's going on in the ocean, all these things happening in the ocean. It's all the ocean, you see, right? So, and that it's okay for these movements within the ocean. There is nothing happening for the ocean. It's not like, oh my God, what's going to happen to the ocean? Nothing. So this exploration at our feeling level is important to relax your body-mind, to invite your body-mind to experience whatever is arising, the feelings, the sensations, the contractions, the fear of death, whatever, just it's okay, don't make an idea of yourself that you should transcend something, that, oh yeah, I need to transcend something, because that's also part of a resistance, you don't need to transcend anything, it's nothing really that you need to transcend. It's all just more about being and simply relaxing as being. And it's not about any experience or feeling something. I'm feeling special. No, I don't feel special. If we all feel whatever we feel. I mean, right now, we're enjoying being together right now. That's beautiful, you see.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Magdi,
Yes, Maria.
I didn't die. I think I'm still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
And the sensations did pass.
Mm-hmm.
Not totally, but the strongest part of it. Like a big wave kind of washed over.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should say my body didn't die.
Hmm.
As we've already explored our deathless nature. Or in that sense, not even the body, because the body is also an impression, a bundle of sensations
Yes.
that occurs in awareness.
Yes. Yes. Francis sometimes speaks of a cosmic body, a universal body, sort of borderless, transparent. Because from the materialistic perspective, there is matter somewhere. There is a reality called matter that's somehow an objective reality. But in fact, reality is non-objective. It's not in the realm of objective and non-objective. There are no words for it. It's neither objective nor non-objective. But because our conversation is dualistic, we say that reality is non-objective. But in fact, it is neither objective nor non-objective. There is no other reality. There isn't a dual reality or a sub-reality that is the body or that is the car or the tree in the yard. There are no sub-realities. It's just reality, and there are no words for it. And yet, it knows itself. It's not like some empty reality out there that's like dark matter. It's a reality that is right now speaking and hearing and appearing as this, and has created everything. It's created, it's unimaginable creation, including language. But there is no the infinite potential of God. What they say, the omnipotence of universal consciousness. And I is how this reality appears out of itself to itself in saying, I am and I know I am. I know I am the one reality. And I know that your search for matter is a moot search. And I know that most will not listen, but it's okay. It's okay. Children have to play, don't they? Okay. Very beautiful to be with you all. Trish, lovely to see you. Okay. Okay. We will take care of you, Kerry. Don't worry. And
Kelly, come to Costa Rica. I'll take care of you.
yes, okay, we're going to Costa Rica to visit Maria.
Thank you.
Yeah. Holly, say hello to Emma and Shiva. And George.
Gracias, Magdi.
Very lovely to meet you. Yes, Isaac.
No, gracias.
Gloria.
Chao.
Very lovely to see you all. So beautiful, so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.